Is het de titel? Is dat de titel?
Je moet het doen.
Ja.
Zei dat hij
You don't have to wait for us, you just don't, please.
It's already a break.
You need a break?
No, I don't need a break. When once there is a break, it's very difficult for me
Okay.
to go back. I was going to add one more thing. It's not sex that is the only thing that the human body is involved. So you have unfortunately separated it from the other activities of this body. Once that is knocked off, everything, every pleasure moment of every kind, this will be destroyed. It's not just sex. All pleasure moments, in any direction, on every level, on any level, the whole thing is bad. So you can't be interested in this kind of a thing at all. Eating is finished for you. So you use thought as an instrument of pleasure movement. I'm not saying anything against pleasure. Eating, for example, that's the reason why I say if you are interested in varieties of food, your interest in varieties of birds also is acceptable. So you cannot separate the two. So the whole thing will be wiped out. So how can you be interested in this kind of thing? You can't be interested.
Really? How come you're so fond of chocolate?
Huh?
How come you're so fond of chocolate?
Chocolate, I'm not fond. If it is not there, I don't think of it.
When it's there.
When it is there, I eat even human flesh. Be careful. I'm a cannibal. Because I came from, my origins were.
Eugene, I wanted to ask, I was thinking last time I was here, you were talking about natural state, but you couldn't tell what it was or how it happened to you.
It's very simple. What I mean by natural state is a very simple thing. The pulse, the beat and the breath of life, that's all.
But I was
And you are also functioning in a very natural way. Why that body cannot function in a natural way is because of the cultural input there and the stranglehold of thought. It is all the time trying to control that body and function in the way in which the cultural inputs demand.
How did this come into existence?
I don't know. I really don't
Why
know.
didn't we stay like this in the natural state? Why did we-
Somewhere along the line, have to put it that way, something happened in the human species and they separated themselves from the rest of the living organisms on this planet. And that was the beginning of self-consciousness, if I may use that word. And that's the beginning of the end of all forms of life. It will not only destroy yourself, but also will destroy every form of life on this planet.
Is that
Because
a chemical malfunction?
Yes, because thought is a very destructive movement there. It is, that's all. It may not happen today or tomorrow, it will certainly happen before long, because everything that is born out of that is destructive.
So it's like a poison.
It is, I don't know, that may not be the word, but thought is really the enemy. Thought is not something mysterious, it is just memory. You know?
Is a newborn baby in a natural state?
Natural, all animals are in natural state. Not only newborn babies. So what do we do, sir? Where do we sit?
Take your time, you'll come.
Yes, I think we'll stop. Wait and wait.
There's
Wait, I think he's going
he's
to
going to
ask some
start.
questions and then that's enough.
Everything will be revealed.
Yeah. Where is the camera? The same camera or is it a different one?
No, it's different.
Even kijken. Er is wel een bostafeltje als je dat...
Ja, dat zou, hij moet gewoon wat hoger.
Ja, dan
Wat
kan
hoger?
je een telefoonboek op of zo.
Ja, moet even denken.
Een klein tuin, zwaar telefoonboek.
Zou ik niet houden? Oh ja. Alles lekker in dat schijnt.
Die koffertjes zijn jou. Die koffertjes kan je niet, die koffertjes erop zetten.
Zo heb je hem toch niet.
Nou, ik zit even...
This is not a very comfortable chair.
Ik zou hem eerst aanzetten.
Ja, precies. En dit aan.
You see, that's another chair like that probably. Some of us can see.
Weer steek op het lijf.
The spiritual quest. Perhaps I should first give a little introduction. You have the name Krishnamurti, which is something like a very common name, like Johnson here in Europe, or in Amsterdam actually. In Holland we have Johnson as a very common name. Not to be, since another Krishnamurti became very famous, everybody calls you Eugene. And you just told me that like a long time ago in Belgium you gave a lecture for the Theosophical Society for all the ladies wearing tennis shoes, knitting while you were giving your talk, being very young. And then when the questions came, she asked you if roses could reincarnate. And then you decided this is the end of my lecture career. And since then, very consequently, you have never been lecturing. In fact, you've never been teaching. All you really do is travel around the world and visit friends, like this is in the house of somebody you know, and then people come and basically ask you questions. And then one of the main things that strikes me is that you tell them there's no question there. In fact, you know the answer already. In fact, there's nobody talking there. So in the beginning this sounded totally puzzling to me. How is it possible, I thought, I'm talking, I hear my voice, I hear your voice, I understand what you're saying, so I have the whole picture in my mind very clearly that you are talking, I'm hearing, and I'm understanding what you are saying, etc., etc. Then you say, no, 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 not at all. It's quite different. And at the beginning it made me very angry, because it really changed my whole conception, you can say, of what I thought reality was. So, as far as you understand now, is I'm uttering sounds, like an animal utters sounds, and my memory interprets these sounds as words. And these words I think I understand, but in fact, if the sounds are a little different, I don't even understand them anymore. So only if I've learned them, I can understand the words. If I haven't learned them, then I don't understand. So everything I understand, I've learned. So there's not one original thought of myself.
Not one original thought of yours. There is no thought which you can call your own. I always give the simile of a ventriloquist. You ask questions in one voice and you give your own answers in another voice. But actually and factually I am not in any way involved in this question and answer format. You may say that it is very funny, as you said before. And let me also give you another example of an international telephone calls you make to other countries from here. So you dial the number and say hello. Before you hear the other party, the other end of the telephone says hello, you hear your own hello. So every time the thought is born there, it is some sort of an echo chamber and repeats itself. And that gives you the illusion that there are two things there. The thought is after all a sound. I don't know if I make myself very clear. And thought is another word for memory. So for example, you say there's a microphone. So microphone is a sound. So the moment you use the words and thoughts, you give materiality to those things. And you feel that there are two things there, the one who is talking and the one who is listening. But actually it is something like an echo chamber. When you say microphone, it repeats itself there inside of you. And that gives you the illusion that there are two things there. But actually it is one.
So I utter a sound.
All sounds,
My memory
it's all
knows the meaning of the sound.
is you give or invest meaning to those things, otherwise it has no meaning.
No meaning.
No meaning at all. And another thing that we usually do is to create images around these words. The image building is the cultural input there. But the word is often by itself has no image. So that is the way the physical body of yours is functioning. So when you look at something, it's like a camera. So what you see there is the reflection of the so-called object out there on the retina. But it gives you the illusion that there is somebody who is looking at the things, but there is nobody who is looking at the things. The physical eye just looks at the things, and it cannot translate anything within the framework of the knowledge you have. So the knowledge you have is the image building structure that is put in there by the culture. So when once you turn from that object to this side, everything is wiped out there. But it looks as if you are carrying the image a little longer. That's what we were taught in the School of Physiology, in the classes there, by the physiologists, that when once you close your eyes, the image lasts a little longer than actually the image lasts when you look at that object. But it is not so. So what you are left with is the imagination that is left behind after you close your eyes. So that is really an illusion. Otherwise, it's just like a camera. You turn the camera over to the other side, everything is wiped out. So there is no way you can recreate the image within you unless you look at it, you see.
Right.
So that is the way the human body is functioning. It is very difficult to accept that fact because it destroys the illusion that you have that there is somebody who is talking, somebody who is listening, somebody who is looking at things. There is just looking, there is just listening, there is just talking, but there is no talker there. So how is it possible for us to imagine that there are two? The illusion arises because of the assumption that there are two things.
That's something we learn, that there are two.
Yes, two, but actually there is only one thing there, and only talking, but there is no talker there. The whole mechanism that is in operation there is something like a computer. So if there is any information there, then it is possible for you to come out with the answers. If there is no information, it is silent. So what comes out of you is something like the printout. If there is no information on the subject you and I are discussing about, it is silent. So if there is information, it works it out and comes out with the answers if the information is available there in the memory box. I don't know if I make myself.
Yeah.
You
So,
are not ready to accept the fact that this body of ours is just a mechanical thing there. It's just like a machine, it's just like a computer. So what gives you the illusion is that there is somebody you think who is thinking. You know, I always give the example of the word finder. I'm sure you use the word finder.
on the computer.
No, the small word finders, the dictionaries.
On dictionary.
Yes, you press the button and it says enter the word. When once you enter the word, if you want to know if the spelling is correct, you have to press that button, it says spelling is correct. If
Right.
it is wrong, it corrects it on its own. So that correcting process is not born out of any thinking there, but it's a mechanical thing.
Yeah, right.
And all the synonyms, antonyms that are there, come out one after the other. So you are also functioning in exactly the same way. But it is very difficult for you to imagine that there is nobody who is thinking. There is no thinker there, there are no thoughts there. What is there is only the memory.
Functioning.
Just functioning.
Yeah.
It is response to the stimulus. And through the help of memory, you are translating the sensory activity within the framework of the knowledge you have.
So the memory creates the we or me or I.
The memory is the entity there. It is the one that creates the identity. And so we have to use constantly the memory to maintain your identity.
Right.
So what we are doing is, through this constant use of memory, we go on experiencing the same thing over and over and over again. So that's the reason why every time you look at something, you tell yourself, that's a man, that's a girl, that is a camera, this is a microphone, that's a little girl. That is how you maintain the continuity of your identity through the constant use of your memory. So you don't at the same time realize this constant use of memory is destroying or consuming tremendous amounts of energy, and we are left with no energy to deal with the living problems we are facing every moment of our existence.
So it means in order to be aware of myself, which is memory, I need that memory continuously, because if I don't use it, I lose myself.
What you know yourself, you as you know yourself, you as you experience yourself,
It's all memory.
is gone.
It's totally gone then.
So the ending of what you know is a very difficult thing for you to accept. So that's one of the reasons why you have to maintain throughout, day and night. You see, you think that you are sleeping, but actually you are not sleeping.
No.
The memory is still not. Probably you sleep for a few minutes like a cat and then wake up. That's one of the reasons why you dream. Once you see the image making structure ceases to function the way it is functioning there, there is no way that you can dream even when you are asleep.
Even when you dream, you think it's real.
Even now you are dreaming,
Yeah, right.
while you are totally awake. You think you are awake, but you are not looking at anything, you are not feeling anything, you are not experiencing anything. Whatever you are experiencing, whatever you are looking, whatever you are seeing, whatever you are feeling,
It's memory.
is memory.
The memory, as soon as it would cease to exist, we lose everything.
No, it's the functional memory remains there. You will not use memory to create any images anyhow. When there is a need for the operation of memory, it is there whenever there is a need for it. When there is no need for it, whether it is there or not, you will never know.
So there's nothing to be said about it, because you will never know.
You will never know.
No.
You have no way of knowing.
So anytime you talk about it, all you do is stay in the memory.
That's all that you are doing.
Yeah.
So you have a better memory than I have, so you are more intelligent than I am. That's all.
And again, that's memory too.
We have cultivated through years.
Yeah.
That's all. So you have a better memory than I have, and so you are more intelligent than I am. You know how to manipulate, how to use your memory and produce results for yourself and for others. That's why you are considered to be a very intelligent man. The whole idea of intelligent quotient is now brushed aside.
Yeah.
It was fashionable some time ago to use that, to feel superior because you have an intelligent quotient higher than mine.
Yeah.
Probably my intelligent quotient is that of a low-grade moron, I wouldn't know. I'm not even interested.
No, the feeling I have is that that most people that I meet, and myself too, of course, because that's where I perceive from, are in this kind of panic that they're found out about having little intelligence. Most people that I meet and I talk honestly with them about it, say when they're really honest, they say, "Oh, that's really stupid." that they act intelligent, that more or less they're lucky that they're not found out yet, that most people haven't discovered that they're actually quite stupid. So they act in a kind of panic intelligently in order to be accepted in a way.
We cover up all the inadequacies with this posture.
Yeah.
It's a posture that we maintain. But the intelligence that is necessary for the survival of the living organism is already there. So this body does not want to learn anything, does not want to know anything from us.
It's automatic.
It's automatic. The intelligence that is necessary for its survival under any circumstances, even in the midst of the adverse circumstances, it has enough intelligence to survive. If for some reason it cannot survive, that's the end of it.
That's why
If that body ends, it's no loss.
no.
You know.
Is that why if the body gets in panic, it stops thinking?
It stops thinking. When there is a real danger, your thinking cannot and will not come to your aid at all. The first thing that has to happen is that the thought should stop. Then only it is possible for the survival of this living organism, relying upon the intelligence which is already there. That always happens. You know. The fear that you, supposing you fall from a tree, you slip, and the fear makes this body stiff, and there is a danger of hurting yourself. If the fear is not there, the body is just like a rubber doll. It falls, and you know, once a child fell from the 4th floor or the 5th floor in New York, they were all frightened that the child would get hurt or would be killed. And the child got up and walked away, and it was surprised that all those people were there waiting for the child to land there on the floor.
So you know for sure that it would be dead.
The child just got up and walked away.
Of course, the
And they were all
child didn't know
stunned.
yet.
They were all stunned. You see.
Yeah, right.
So it's the fear that stiffens the body. So there is a danger of getting hurt when you fall.
And because you're afraid that you will fall, you will hurt yourself.
You will hurt yourself.
So you create it.
You create. See the fear, see if you are confronted with a cobra or a wild animal, don't try it, but it's very dangerous to give a try to what I'm saying. You see, they are very friendly. Cobras.
Yeah, right.
Very friendly.
Very friendly.
Very friendly. I always talk to them, take walks with them.
Yeah.
Because if you are not frightened, so you are on very safe ground. If you are frightened, you will emit some odors. So they have to take the first step and protect themselves. That's the reason why a frightened man is always in the danger of placing himself in a situation where they will have to take the first step. The other day, film director, a friend of mine, came from India looking for a panther, black panther. And we went to somebody's place where he had a panther. And they were all looking at it, they were all frightened. And then I started talking to the panther. And I asked the panther, sit down, don't run around, sit down, I said. You see, whether it understood my English or not, probably the panther was used to the Italian then. Very quietly, the panther sat there. The fellow who was responsible for raising all this for the movies was amazed, and he thought that I was sort of a person who can tame all these animals. Not at all, I was not frightened of that. Another reason why I was not frightened was because it was a child. But yet, it listened. My advice, please stay quiet.
Yeah. So that means that any
People are always surprised when I take walks with pythons, take walks with cobras. They are very beautiful creatures, wonderful creatures. You can talk to them whether they understand your language or not. If you are not frightened, they will not harm you at all. And let me warn you that you should not try.
no, because if you believe,
If you are frightened,
then they will.
then that's the end of you.
Yeah.
They have to take the first step.
Yeah.
To
But that's
protect
with
themselves.
people too.
Yeah.
That's with people too. With dogs, people, cats, anything. If you're frightened, they
The
reflect.
dogs, by associating themselves with these humans, have also developed this identity. You give a name to your dog and the cat, and you have destroyed them totally. And that's the reason why many of the dogs now are sent to the psychiatrist for neurotic situations that they have developed because of their association. Now they may even have to go to the sex therapist because they are going to have sex problems too, like the humans.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
No,
That's
no,
going to
no.
happen.
It's true.
And they send them to school to teach manners to the dogs and cats. And if they have psychological problems or neurotic problems, they are sending them to the psychiatrist. Before long, they are also going to have sex problems. The dogs and cats and all the pets, even parakeets, probably will need a sex therapist to help them to solve their sex problems.
Yeah. Yeah, the latest thing is to cut their vocal cords now.
Yes.
Yeah, for dogs, so they don't bark so much.
But,
Yeah.
do you think anybody would be interested in our dialogue?
I don't know.
It is bordering on the frivolous.
It's nice to be frivolous, but it means too that like this,
The frivolity has its own charm, and it has a place in the scheme of things.
definitely.
So I'm not a very serious man. My interest is not to liberate people. It's not to save mankind.
In fact, any
Who the hell
idea,
am I? Who the hell am I to save the
but
people?
any idea to liberate yourself is without any use.
If you are lucky and find yourself a liberated person, quote unquote, not in the religious sense I'm using that word. You have come to realize that there is nothing there to be liberated from, that there is nothing there to be free from. When once you find yourself in that situation, and once you are lucky to find yourself that there is nothing there to be free from, then you will not try to keep it.
Right. As long as you try to liberate yourself, you try to liberate
Yeah,
others.
that's true.
Yeah. And the other is just your memory
Rejection of yourself.
of yourself. So in fact, whatever happens here, I project there.
Yes, since I have no way, you have to take my word, sorry. But even if you don't take my word, it's all right. All that is in parenthesis. I have no way of creating an image of myself. So there is no way I can create an image of you. When once you start saying something, it occurs to me why he is saying all these things, why he has all those questions. I don't have any questions of any kind. When people come and throw all these questions at me, my interest is to point out the absurdity of carrying on this dialogue. There is no room for dialogue, there is no room for any conversation between two individuals.
Entertainment?
Well, I am not in the entertaining field, you see. If I am in the entertainment, I should make money. Isn't it?
You don't make money.
No. On the other hand, I am losing money.
Even your books, you don't publish them, you don't want money from them,
Frankly speaking, I really do not know what is there in those books.
you don't read them.
I am illiterate. I don't know how to read and write.
Hmm.
I just talk like this. Somebody takes that, transcribes it, and publishes that. And you must have seen my note there. There is no copyright. Anything I say, anything I am, anything I have belongs to everybody. It's just like a flowing river, and what you do with the water is your affair. The river is not concerned what you are going to do with that water.
No.
Not at all. Nothing can contaminate that river. Even if you contaminate and run all this stuff into the river, it knows how to destroy all the bacteria and move and flow along.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Oh, I can make up many questions, of
I'll
course.
make a few up, we got more tape.
No, the thing is that, like, in spite of that, most of us are really desperately trying to better ourselves,
Improve ourselves.
improve ourselves, change ourselves, because we have the feeling that it does not really, that we are not good enough.
Yeah.
So
That is the cultural input there. You see,
that's what you learn.
the culture demands that you should be something different. Huh? Something different. You must become something different from what you actually are. Hmm?
It's as a kid already you believe that you're not good
They
enough.
have set before us the model of a perfect man. And Everybody is trying to become that model, and it is impossible. I maintain that every individual is unique. And the cultural input there demands that we should all be like that, and we should all fit ourselves into that value system created by our culture, based upon the model of these so-called spiritual teachers. It is that has created all the problems for us. So we haven't succeeded so far in trying to fit ourselves into that framework, into that value system, without this battle that is going on there in us all the time. What we are left with is this constant battle.
So the religion teaches you that there's in and out, another one and you, good and bad.
Good and bad, right and wrong.
You get in big trouble.
Yes.
You feel horrible.
Yes.
Then they tell you that they can save you.
Yes.
And if you pay them the money, they will save you.
They will say, they will take the money, and they don't have the guts to tell you that they don't have any goods to deliver.
They promise it after your death.
Promise.
Yeah.
So we are so gullible that we settle for the promises and live in hope, die in hope. That will be the end of the story for us. Not only for the individuals, and even the whole of humanity seems to have opted for that kind of suicide. It sounds very pessimistic, isn't it?
Not really.
Not really.
Once you know this,
So because everything that is born out of your thought is destructive. Everything we discover in nature, all the laws of nature which we have discovered, are now put to the use of destruction of everything that is there in nature.
right.
And so, probably a tiny bit of what we have discovered helps us to live a comfortable life, but most of it is used for destructive purposes. Through war, how do you think we are going to create peace in this world? Through the constant battle that is going on there within you, how do you think you will have a peaceful existence? It is just not possible. And unfortunately, this kind of a neurotic state is very essential for us to survive in this world. The whole culture is born out of that neurosis. And so you have to be a neurotic individual to survive in this world. There is no way you can survive in this world without the neurosis.
No, because if you're not neurotic, you are different from the others. And that's panic.
They will destroy you.
Yeah, exactly.
They will destroy you.
Yeah, because they tell you you're crazy,
Yes.
that you're totally different, and
Yes.
weird, and
But we don't let those crazy people to function in their own way. We push them to be functional.
right.
And in this process, we are pushing them to commit suicide. They don't want to fit into this framework at all. They have given up.
Right.
The society demands that they should always function. But you and I are still struggling to fit ourselves into that framework.
Right.
So we still have the hope that one day we will succeed in fitting ourselves very harmoniously in that value system that the society has created for us.
And there's no hope for any harmonious.
No. It is the idea of a harmonious living that is responsible for all the discords we are confronted with. It is that is really creating the disharmony within us and around us.
So any idea of a
Yeah.
harmonious relationship is
Very
Destroying
destructive
it.
in the long run.
Yeah.
The idea that we are going to create
into what?
into a virtue.
Virtue.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. It's true because we look up to people who have suffered a lot.
Suffered. And we admire them, honor them,
Right.
reward them because they have suffered and sacrificed their lives for the cause of mankind.
For the cause of mankind.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. It's a great
The
challenge.
humanity is nothing but an extension of yourself. You know that you are coming to an end. So you want the humanity to survive, humanity to continue. So the demand for permanence is projected on mankind, is projected on humanity.
Is that something that memory does?
Yes,
Permanence?
certainly. It demands permanence. The demand for permanence is the cause of our tragedy. Everything is changing, constantly changing. We have invented a thing called a tradition. What does tradition mean? Tradition means the unwillingness to change with the changing things. Things are changing, constantly changing. We all want to change, but when the time comes for a change, we are not ready for the change.
No, we get in panic. And we go totally against it.
In the final analysis, you don't want to lose what you know and what you have. That's the fear of losing what you have. And what you have is what you know. That's all that is there. That's the only fear that is there. So you don't want to be free from fear. We have invented tremendous varieties of therapies, spiritual and psychological. And through the use of these therapies, we give continuity to what we call fear. We do not want fear to come to an end. All the time we want to be free from fear, but everything we are doing is to keep that fear going. That's the one thing that we do not want to be free from.
No, because the more energy we put into
If
fear,
it is
the more
not
it
there,
goes.
if it is not there, you don't think that you are living.
Right.
If you have no problems, you have to create a problem
Yeah.
to make yourself feel and to feel certain that you are a living being.
Yeah, that's true. If it's too easy, it's not worth anything.
Actually, there are no problems.
No,
Actually, there are no
it's
problems.
worthless. That's why you are surrounded by very serious people.
They are not serious people. They think that they are serious. So that's why
The memory
I
thinks you're
always
serious.
say that frivolous questions get frivolous answers.
Yeah.
See, but serious questions don't get any answers because there are no serious questions at all. So there is no need for me to give any answers.
No. In fact, you know the answer already.
They know the answer already.
Right.
But somehow they don't feel that that is the answer.
No, it's too easy.
They don't question the answers. If they question the answer, they are questioning the people that are responsible for those answers. And we have tremendous faith in those people who have given those answers. We are questioning them too. So we don't want to touch them. But actually, if you have an answer for any question, the question should go. But it keeps repeating the question over and over again.
Yeah.
So if there is any answer to any question, the first thing that should happen is that the question should go. If the question goes, the questioner goes. And the questioner is born out of the answer, so the answer goes. And you are not ready to face that situation. And you are doing everything possible to keep that intact, untouched. In other words, as I said a while ago, the fear of losing all the answers you have is the one thing that makes you and keeps you going, throwing all these questions at yourself and at others. Actually, we don't want any answers to the questions, which is too dangerous. So this question and answer format is a great big joke. It's all right in classrooms, but
Yeah, sure.
it's good for your audience.
Yeah.
They want entertainment. Let us entertain them for a while.
So that means that even if you get an answer,
There are no
you
answers.
cannot hear it.
There are no answers at all
No,
for your questions.
no.
You know. You ask me one question. It's not born out of the answers we already have.
It's true.
Not one question, not one thought which you can call your own, not one experience which you can call your own. It's a fact to me. I don't have any thoughts which I can call my own. Since I don't have any thoughts, I don't have any feelings of my own, and I don't have any experiences of my own. Because it is those thoughts that create the feelings, that create these experiences. So those experiences which I have, I think that they belong to me, they are mine, are created by those thoughts. So I don't have any thoughts of my own, I don't have any feelings of my own, I don't have any experiences of my own. This was my problem even when I was a little boy. Do I have any thoughts of my own? Do I have any wants of my own? Do I have any experiences of my own? Not one, I said to myself. Everything I want is what that horrible culture wanted me to have. The horrible culture created my parents, and they in their turn brainwashed me and forced me to want the same things that they wanted me to want. That was really my problem. I don't have any feelings of my own. All I feel is what they have forced me to feel.
To feel. And the more you fight it, the more stronger it
The
becomes.
stronger it becomes.
Right. So there's nothing you can do about
I
it.
didn't have the guts to throw them all out.
Get out.
Yeah, get out.
But you can't get them out
No,
because you're at the end.
that's the end of you.
That's the end of you. Right. That means physical death?
If the physical death, clinical death will take place.
Yeah, yeah.
You may very well ask me the question, who is it that is sitting here and dishing out all this nonsense?
Yeah.
I have no way of telling myself that this is my body and this is the person that is talking. If you ask me the question, who is talking? Yes, Yuji is talking. Because the question, who is talking, is born out of the assumption on your part that there is somebody here called Yuji who is giving this fact.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, there is nobody here who is, you are playing this tape recorder. These are the two computers carrying on the conversation.
Second.
You are not ready to accept that. Are you?
There's no idea there how to do this, society. You know,
There is no
I
how.
can't.
There is
There's
no
no
how.
hope there. No.
It is not in our interest to ask that question how.
No,
No.
you simply
The
can't.
moment you know how, it has already become part of the knowledge we have.
Yeah.
So anybody offers you any such wonderful technique to put an end to that, is just killing himself and killing you.
Yeah. Second.
If you want to allow yourself to be killed by others, good
Now
luck.
there's many people who say, okay, through talking and thinking, forget it. The only way to create anything is to action.
Yes, thought itself is the action.
It's not a selfish
Is
action.
the action. The moment the thought is born, the action is over. So the rest of the activity which you attribute to the thought is actually a momentum, a shadow that is left behind. So we don't have any thoughts at all. What we have there is above thoughts. The fact that we sometimes pose this question to ourselves, what is thought? What is thought is the thought. Why are we asking that question, what is thought? Because of the assumption that there is such a thing as thought. So you cannot separate yourself from your memory and tell yourself that that is memory. The microphone, that's the word we use. And how do I recognize that? Through the knowledge and the memory I have. Somebody told me that it was a microphone.
Right.
Ever since then I have been telling myself and telling you that it's a microphone. That's all there is to it.
So indeed,
It's
in
all
order,
right. If it is all right, it's a microphone. You can't say that it's just a girlfriend. What does it mean?
yeah,
If microphone and woman and girlfriend, wife, husband are the same, that's
no communication.
no. It's too dangerous.
It's too dangerous.
That's why you don't want to leave things on that level. And you do have to build images around those things and live in those images. So the relationship that we have with people is the relationship between the two images.
Sometimes
If you don't have an image of yourself, you cannot have the image of others.
No.
There can't be any relationship on any level. That's the end.
Yeah. Sometimes we sit together with some people and then we talk with each other, but we talk, we call, or we name everything totally different.
There
So
is
we
one-
play a game with it. And sometimes we get very nervous because after a little while you start to see it that way.
It is too dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It feels very dangerous.
We are
Yeah.
playing a very dangerous game.
Yeah.
When it becomes too dangerous, we take shelter in our silence. And silence becomes a very important thing for religious people. You communicate through silence. That's a lot of hooey. I was going to use the word bullshit.
Bullshit is a good one. Yeah. Originally, the word bullshit came from bullshit artist.
Yes. Now my word finder says bullshit, cow shit, horse shit,
Yeah.
and bird shit, you see. So many shits. That's enough, sir. Let us end on that note of shit.
Yeah, a little silence.
Some more questions about...
No, that's enough. We have covered
Sex?
the entire
Sex
gamut
is
of
always a
views.
good-
We have covered everything.
Yes.
We covered sex?
Sex is too refined a subject to be discussed.
Sex, we didn't cover sex yet. Come on.
No. There's nothing to talk about sex. It's not a very healthy subject.
It's not healthy? Sex?
Come on, yes. Is it healthy?
Now, in the moment of orgasm,
No, but, I mean,
there
didn't
seems to be a kind of vacuum, you can say.
No.
Isn't that it?
No.
That's the idea, the memory?
That's just a fantasy of you.
Fantasy?
but I remember out of one of
Even
your
at
books,
that time, you see.
you said that the
Because
orgasm...
after all, the final, what is the word? Orgasm for women, I suppose. I don't know for men what you call it. Anyway, we don't bother about the details. Even at that peak experience, there is this division. You are there, experiencing the peak experience.
Right.
There
Otherwise
is
you
no
couldn't
getting
take...
away from that fact.
Exactly.
And religious people, especially those who preach the tantric sex and all that kind of guff, tell you that's the moment when the duality is absent. It is not
Absolutely
true.
right. No.
After all, what is that moment we are all concerned about? It is, you see, a relief. You build up. The body has to relieve itself of this tremendous build-up of our love-making.
Right.
That's why the final release is the release of build-up. You see, that's why you fall asleep after your love play.
You lose all the energy.
Yes.
Is that a good or
The
bad
body
thing?
has to renew itself again.
Or it will renew itself again?
Again.
Now the Chinese, the Taoists, try to build up the energy by not ejaculating,
Yeah, but
by spreading it evenly through the body.
yes, I don't know.
Would you ever try it?
We have to put that in practice and find out for ourselves.
But didn't you say that the closer you can get to the natural
We
state
don't want
is during the
go into
orgasm?
that subject in such minute detail.
No, but you said it yourself.
I'm not.
You said once that the closer you can get to your natural state is during the orgasm.
No, I didn't say that.
Anyway, it's in one of your books.
I'm not responsible for that statement.
I know.
Deny that now.
But Uji, does not the body, even as eating bread, needs that stimulation to be that tension?
The body does
to-
not
to-
know. The body does not know it is eating at all. You see, only when you translate what you are eating, you know something. They say that the saltiness is not in the salt, the sweetness is not in sugar. When once you put that what you call salt on your tongue, a chemical change takes place, and it is that tells you it is salty. But when you don't know what you are eating, you have no way of finding out what you are eating. Supposing somebody gives you a glass of nitric acid or sulfuric acid, then the body, the fumes, warns the body that it is a dangerous thing for you to drink. That's all. The intelligence that is there warns you that this is not for this body. So it rejects. So that's all, sir. Anyway, we covered that.
And you, but you can get
Enlightenment, we
used
didn't
to
talk
it.
about enlightenment then.
Huh?
Enlightenment, we didn't cover enlightenment.
No, we don't want it.
No, we don't.
Enlightenment doesn't exist. It's nothing to get in.
Unless you want to set up a holy business, you will have no use for enlightenment at all.
Oh,
You will have no use for it because you cannot find any value. Assuming for a moment that there is an enlightenment and that you are an enlightened person, it has no value for you, it has no value for the society. Not only it has no value for the society, such a man becomes a dangerous man. He who is at peace with himself is a very dangerous man to the society. The peace that they are interested in is not actually the peace. It's the idea of a peace. So if there is anybody who is at peace with himself, he is a threat to you and to the mankind. So
you
you
don't make
eliminate
yourself
that-
known.
you
You just go
eliminate
sit in the
that
room
man,
somewhere.
and he thinks that he is a martyr.
You think he's a terrorist or something?
He is a terrorist of
Yeah.
assault.
Yeah.
Eugene,
Yes,
have you
sir.
ever met another person who found out the same as you did?
I don't know, and I don't go around asking people questions. I have no curiosity. If there is, there is. If there isn't, there is. But if he comes to me and asks questions,